life, change is inevitable. It must happen, whether we like it or not. The fast pace of change and national development across the world, especially over the past 3 decades, has been driven by paradigm shifts towards, in quote, thinking globally and acting locally. Successful national growth and development have therefore been accomplished under inherently deft, visionary, and people-oriented national policies and strategies. Having foreseen the need for qualitative input into the national policy-making process, the Nigerian state established the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, in 1979 by Decree number 20. NIPSS was conceived as a high-level institution with the primary objective of serving as the nation's foremost policy think tank to develop a crop of top-class technocrats of high intellectual capacity who will conceptualize and anchor the implementation of innovation and dynamic policy initiatives and strategies critical for national development. The flagship course of the National Institute is the Senior Executive Course, SEC, which lasts for 10 months each year. The participants for SEC 45 have completed their course. It was not an easy feat. Becoming an MNI comes with a lot of hard work, research, and commitment. I can tell you that for sure. Welcome to the program. I am Lydia Ochi. Stay with us. The theme for each year for Senior Executive Course participants is provided by the Nigerian President on a topical issue affecting the nation. This year's theme is industrialization, energy security, and climate change in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and prospects. Before the participants graduate, it is mandatory for them to present their report to the President. Today on the program, we bring to you the Presidential Parley with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senior Executive Course 45 participants at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Take a look.
Participants of the Senior Executive Course 45 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, in company of the Director General, Professor Ayo Motayo, members of management and directing staff arrived at the Presidential Villa in high spirits and in anticipation for the Presidential Parley. This is a necessary requirement before graduation from the National Institute after a rigorous 10-month-long stint. These participants were admitted into the Institute strictly through nomination by sponsoring organizations and approval by the Office of the President. In his opening remarks to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the DG NIPSS, Professor Ayo Motayo, gave insight into the depth of commitment, zeal, dedication, and drive of the participants in their research work.
Please permit me to, on behalf of the management of staff and participants of Senior Executive Course 45-2023 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, register our collective gratitude for the opportunity to meet with you at this presidential parley, despite your obvious tight schedule and commitment. We thank you, sir. Your kind acceptance to receive us today is no doubt an endorsement of your zeal to see Nigeria among the committee of most developed countries of the world. We are therefore strengthened by your support and are determined to renew our commitment to training and invigorating visionary leaders and change agents that will join efforts towards the great Nigeria of our dreams and that of our past heroes. We must commend your ingenuity, doggedness, and courage to take painstaking but necessary decisions to address Nigeria's economic challenges and other subsisting national issues. Your strong desire to diversify the economy through your emphasis on solid minerals, the blue economy, and digital economy, among others, attest to your uncommon determination and purposefulness in leadership, sir. Let me state, Your Excellency, that the National Institute is aligned with your noble dreams, and it is ever ready through its mandate to facilitate the achievement of your lofty goals and aspirations towards a better society. This occasion provides a unique opportunity to reflect upon the critical role that NIPSS plays in shaping the trajectory of our great nation, Nigeria. As the apex institution for policy research and strategic studies in Nigeria, the National Institute is entrusted with the solemn duty of charting the course for our national development. Our mandate encompasses the rigorous analysis of complex policy issues, the formulation of comprehensive and forward-thinking strategies, and the cultivation of visionary leaders capable of steering Nigeria towards a prosperous and sustainable future. In assessing the relevance of NIPSS to the national policy process, it is imperative to recognize that the challenges facing our nation are multifaceted and dynamic. The Institute has consistently demonstrated its ability to evolve alongside these challenges, providing invaluable insights that inform evidence-based policy making. Through meticulous research, interdisciplinary collaboration, and engagement with a broad spectrum of stakeholders, NIPSS has become a beacon of intellectual excellence in guiding our national policies. The impact of NIPSS on national development is profound and far-reaching. Our research outputs have catalyzed positive changes in various sectors, from economic revitalization to social welfare programs. The Institute has been a crucible for the development of innovative policy solutions that address the unique needs of our diverse population. NIPSS alumni who occupy key positions across government, industry, and civil society serve as living testimony to the transformative power of the knowledge and skills imparted at the Institute. As we stand at the precipice of a new era, sir, under the renewed hope and mandate of this administration, our aspirations for the future must be grounded in a commitment to building a resilient and globally competitive nation. NIPSS envisions a Nigeria where strategic foresight and evidence-based policymaking are ingrained in the national DNA. We aspire to foster a culture of continuous learning and adaptation, ensuring that our policies remain responsive to the ever-evolving challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. To achieve these aspirations, sir, NIPSS is poised to enhance its research capabilities, deepen its engagement with the private sector, and forge international collaborations that harnesses global best practices. We are committed to nurturing a new generation of leaders who are not only adept at navigating the complexities of governance, but are also imbued with a sense of duty and patriotism to serve the best interests of the Nigerian people. We are, however, confronted with a few challenges in the discharge of our mandate. These include the need to have a remuneration structure that will help the National Institute to attract the best brains from within and outside Nigeria, who will join existing faculty to conceptualize cutting-edge policies critical for our national development and aspirations. Your Excellency, sir, the National Institute as envisioned by the founding fathers, is to serve as Nigeria's apex policy think tank. The Institute is expected to develop a crop of top-class technocrats of high intellectual capacity. These technocrats are expected to conceptualize and anchor the implementation of innovative and dynamic policy initiatives and strategies critical for the realization of our national development aspirations. It is heartwarming to inform you that the National Institute has been delivering on its mandate. Since 1979, sir, the National Institute has produced over 4,000 senior policy and strategy experts who have contributed immeasurably to various aspects of our national lives. In February this year, sir, a total of 97 participants were diligently selected and registered for this course, sir. The participants have worked assiduously throughout the duration of the course and have distinguished themselves as patriotic Nigerians. Your Excellency, the Presidency tasked the participants to look at the theme, industrialization, energy security, and climate change in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and process. With a sense of pride, sir, I'm delighted to inform you that the participants concluded the assignment with utmost zeal, dedication, and drive. This year's senior executive course, like previous ones, involved several lectures by top-class resource persons and facilitators. It included extensive individual and group research works and rigorous intellectual debates. The participants undertook study tours of 7 states of the Federation, 7 African countries, and 6 countries outside Africa. This enabled them to have a wider perspective of industrialization, energy security, and climate change in Nigeria. The outcome of their research, Your Excellency, is what we'll be presenting now. We are hopeful, Your Excellency, that the recommendations and implementation strategies contained in their report will be adopted by the government as part of strategies for promoting industrialization, energy security, and adapting and mitigating the effects of climate change in Nigeria. On this note, sir, Your Excellency, kindly permit me to invite the Monitor General of the Senior Executive Course 45-2023.
The participants' presentations reflected rigorous research within Nigeria and around the world in their individual and group works. They gave policy options and the way forward on the theme of their research.
I am Colonel Ibrahim Yusuf, the Monitor General of Senior Executive Course 45 of 2023 of the National Institute Kuru and the lead presenter. Presenting with me are Ambassador Ayalutha Ogomode, Barrister Sam Ifanye Hart, Dr. Israel Oluwasegun Oshidipe, Homobolala Fadila Sabiu, and Navy Captain Andrew Zidon. Mr. President, sir, on behalf of the participants of the Senior Executive Course 45 of the National Institute, may I express our sincere appreciation to you for the opportunity to present this report on the theme Industrialization, Energy Security, and Climate Change in Nigeria, Issues, Challenges, and Prospects. We also commend your effort in addressing the merits of issues and challenges undermining the past and the current initiatives to promote industrialization, energy security and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria. This is indeed gladdening to us, as it is a clear manifestation that Mr. President and his team have hit the ground running with the full grasp of the developmental issues and challenges that need to be overcome in order to provide renewed hope to all Nigerians. Your Excellency, in preparing our report, we came up with practical recommendations that will reinforce the cardinal objectives of the renewed hope agenda of this administration. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, permit us to present the average version of the full report of the 10-month study by Senior Executive Course 45 of 2023 of the National Institute. It is hoped that this report will contribute to the ongoing effort by this administration to strengthen industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria. I will begin with the background to the study. The quest by all nations to achieve sustainable industrialization and energy security in a manner that is environmentally friendly forms the thrust of Sustainable Development Goals 7, 9, 11, 13, and 17 as initiated by Nyong in 2023. He observed that while industrialization and energy adequacy drive economic growth, studies have shown that the processes of industrialization and attaining energy adequacy in any nation affects the environment and ultimately contribute to climate change. There is therefore a clear nexus between industrialization, energy security, and climate change issues. Accordingly, countries continue to pursue industrialization and energy security because of their inherent potentials for rapid socio-economic development. The World Bank in 2020 reported that Nigerian quest for the industrialization is hindered by several issues and challenges, prominent among which are infrastructural deficiencies, inadequate power supply, and dilapidated transportation systems. Others are insecurity and climate disruption leading to food insecurity in the country. Despite being the largest economy on the continent, the African Industrialization Index 2022 ranked Nigeria's industrial sector as the 8th in Africa with a score of 0.6. Since independence in 1960, successive Nigerian governments have formulated several industrial policies, programs, and initiated projects to fast-track its industrialization aspirations. Some of the key projects and initiatives include Ajakuta Steel Company and Aluminium Smelter Company at Ikorebasi. However, Ajayi Kadri in 2023 observed that currently most of the projects and initiatives are either moribund or operating suboptimally. Furthermore, Nigeria has suffered debilitating power shortages, thus affecting pace of industrialization.
Energy security and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria. 2. Examine and evaluate the prospects of various policy options for achieving industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria. 3. Evaluate the performance of Nigeria's intervention on industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation. 4. Discuss lessons learned from the comparative studies and analysis on industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation in some countries, and of course, proffer recommendations and implementation strategies. In pursuit of this presidential mandate, the Senior Executive Course 45 visited 14 strategic institutions in Abuja, including the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, the Energy Commission of Nigeria, and the National Council on Climate Change. Other institutions visited are as shown on the screen. Also, 7 states in Nigeria, 6 African countries, and 6 countries outside Africa were visited. The states visited during the local tour were Akwa Ibom, Edo, Kano, Lagos, Niger, Ogun, and Yobe, while the countries visited during the African study tour were Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Liberia, Malawi, and Mozambique. Participants of the Senior Executive Course 45 equally visited China, Ireland, Germany, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Thailand during the Intercontinental Study Tour. The study adopted a qualitative research strategy, making use of both primary and secondary data sources. The primary data were sourced from briefings and interactive sections with government officials and other critical stakeholders within and outside Nigeria on the study variables. Next are the overarching national frameworks on industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria. The overarching policy frameworks that deal with industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria include the Nigeria Industrial Revolution Plan 2014, the revised National Energy Policy 2018, and the National Policy on Climate Change 2021 to 2030, respectively. These policy documents provide direction and guidance on strategies for addressing Nigeria's industrialization, energy security, and climate change issues and challenges. Nevertheless, the Nigeria Industrial Revolution Plan 2014 needs to be reviewed into a more comprehensive national industrial policy that incorporates capital goods production and the accelerated transition to a circular economy. Similarly, the implementation of the National Agency Energy Policy has not been very effective due to glitches encountered in the process arising from rapid changes in global energy sector development. Furthermore, the study noted that the current Nigeria Investment Policy 2023 does not include sufficient incentives for investors. It was equally observed that the implementation of the National Policy on Climate Change 2021 to 2030 is currently hindered by the inability of government to raise the funds required for achieving Nigeria's nationally determined contributions.
The manufacturing sector contributed 9% to the country's real gross domestic product with a value of 6.5 trillion naira, increasing by 3.35% from 6.29 trillion naira year on year. Record from the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that Nigeria's aggregate economic activities on gross domestic product in real terms stood at 69.80 trillion naira in 2018, 71.39 trillion naira in 2019, 70.01 trillion naira in 2020, 72.39 trillion naira in 2021, and 74.64 trillion naira in 2022, respectively. This trend shows marginal growth. However, the margin of growth is grossly inadequate for Nigeria, considering its resource endowment and increasing population. Also, Nigeria's steel, aluminium, and power subsectors are operating suboptimally, and this undermines the country's industrialization. Despite the foregoing, Shumale observed that Nigeria has made some progress in recent years in promoting inclusive and sustainable industrialization. The government has implemented some policies and programs such as the Export Expansion Grant and the creation of special economic zones to support the manufacturing sector. For instance, Nigeria has over 14 special economic zones spread across the country. However, most of them are not operating optimally due to inadequate shared infrastructure and other economic limitations. In this regard, the reviewed National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan 2020 provides significant opportunities if adequately implemented. Additionally, the implementation of the intermodal transportation system as proposed by the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology is a viable option for improving transportation infrastructure in a manner that supports industries and other economic activities. It is pertinent to state that thriving special economic zones will enable Nigeria maximize the benefit of its membership of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. It will also help boost trade and investment in manufacturing sector, as well as improving foreign exchange earnings for the country. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria has not achieved much on SDG 9 due to a number of issues and challenges. Some of these issues include access to finance, energy, and insecurity, while the challenges include infrastructural deficits, high cost of diesel, and bureaucratic bottlenecks. In addition, Nigeria's manufacturing sector is characterized by low productivity due to Nigeria's technological base, importation of raw materials, availability of skilled labor, as well as quality of foreign products. Achieving SDG 9, therefore, requires concerted efforts from the government, private sector, and civil society to resuscitate the moribund steel and aluminium industries, as well as enhance power generation. And now to the performance evaluation of Nigeria on energy security using Sustainable Development Goal 7. SDG 7 aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. On SDG 7 Target 1, on universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services by the year 2030, data has shown that Nigeria is not on track to achieve this target. As of 2022, only about 59% of Nigerians had access to electricity. This is lower than the sub-Saharan African average of 67%. However, Nigeria's progress towards achieving SDG 7 Target 1 by 2030 is aligned with the 2022 Energy Transition Plan. Ogaji in 2023 noted that nearly 36,000 gigawatt hours of electricity was generated in Nigeria in 2021, up from around 35,700 gigawatt hours in the previous year.
Inadequate utilization of local raw materials hinders Nigeria's capacity to fast-track sustainable industrialization. Most subnationals are yet to place necessary frameworks to effectively explore opportunities presented by the Electricity Act 2023. Limited access to long-term single-digit interest financing mechanism to small and medium enterprises has hindered Nigeria's industrial development. Nigeria's current critical infrastructure, especially railways and roads, are inadequate to support rapid industrial development. Only approximately 2,801 hectares of land have been restored by the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, making it unlikely that Nigeria will meet the target of restoring 800,000 hectares by 2030. Despite some improvement, general insecurity across the country has significantly hindered the promotion of sustainable industrialization and energy security. The current institutional setting of the Energy Commission of Nigeria has undermined its capacity to effectively discharge its core mandate. Despite Nigeria's huge natural gas resources and recognition as a transition fuel in the Energy Transition Plan 2022, adequate infrastructure for its domestic and industrial use is yet to be emplaced. Nigeria's estimated 427,000 megawatt concentrated solar power potential has not been fully exploited to enhance energy sufficiency and security in the country. Nigeria is yet to fully harness the potential of its critical mineral resources such as lithium, sodium ion, nickel, cobalt, chromium, rare earth elements, and other energy sources like coal and crude oil that could help boost the energy security of the country. The adoption of climate-smart and sustainable agriculture and land use management practices across Nigeria is minimal and not aligned with the National Agricultural Resilience Framework 2015. The dearth of reliable and relevant data for developmental decision-making and the formulation of tailor-made policies and laws has hindered the promotion of the study variables, especially at the sub-national level. Pervasive corruption and mismanagement across critical sectors of the economy have combined to undermine Nigeria's national development. Falilat, please continue with the presentation by discussing policy options on industrialization, energy security, and climate change adaptation and mitigation in Nigeria.
Thank you, Shegun. Mr. President, sir, these options aim to achieve industrialization in an environmentally sustainable manner that also ensures an energy secure future for Nigeria. Now to policy option 1, which is the exclusive utilization of Nigeria's abundant fossil fuel resources. This option seeks to focus on the exclusive development of Nigeria's abundant fossil fuel resources to generate energy, which include oil, gas, and coal. It involves the expansion of Nigeria's existing gas infrastructure for for industrial and domestic use, as well as increasing investment in oil production and refining capacity. This option also provides for optimal utilization of the nation's coal reserves as an energy source. It is premised on the availability of the resources, existing infrastructure, and relative in-country expertise, taking into account Nigeria's contribution to global greenhouse emissions, which is just 0.0%. It is be forced to renege on existing climate change commitments. As the rest of the world accelerates towards cleaner energy sources, Nigeria could find itself at a disadvantage in the future. Advantages of the policy option are: 1. It guarantees the quick realization of Nigeria's energy security aspirations. 2. It will help reduce dependence on imports and provide a stable energy supply. 3. It has the potential to develop the petrochemical and pharmaceutical industries. 4. The fossil fuel industry will create many direct and indirect high-paying jobs. And 5. Oil exports will provide a valuable foreign exchange source for the country. This brings me to policy option 2, which is exclusive transition to renewable energy sources. This option emphasizes Nigeria's complete transition to renewable energy sources by its industrial sector towards sustainability and reducing its carbon footprint. This option will promote the adoption of green technologies, resource efficiency, and low carbon production processes. This option also emphasizes provision of financial incentive and policy support to make additional investments in renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydropower for their operations. The option will require over $7 trillion of investments. The disadvantages of the policy option include: 1. Implementing green technologies and sustainable practices will require substantial initial investments for households and industries. 2. This option will lead to stranded oil and gas infrastructure. And 3. Some energy consumers could resist change. Advantages of the policy option include: 1. Reduction in carbon emission and increase in energy efficient practices. 2. Reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from industrial processes. 3. It will drive innovation and competitiveness as industries invest in clean technologies and sustainable practices. 4. It will also position Nigeria as a global player in addressing climate change and sustainable development. 5. Improved energy accessibility through the provision of off-grid energy facilities. And 6. Improved access to global climate change financing. Policy option 3. Optimization and diversification of Nigeria's energy resources. This option emphasizes the simultaneous optimization of Nigeria's existing fossil fuel resources while diversifying the nation's energy mix in a pragmatic manner.
The federal and sub-national governments should fast-track the adoption of climate-smart agricultural and land use management practices in Nigeria in line with the National Agricultural Resilience Framework as part of Nigeria's climate adaptation and mitigation strategy. We look forward to your feedback. On behalf of participants of Senior Executive Course 45, may I express our best wishes to your administration as you lead our country to a better future anchored on the renewed hope agenda. Thank you, sir, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
A very impressed and appreciative Commander-in-Chief found the recommendations useful and capable of enhancing the deliverability of his administration's renewed hope agenda.
Thank you very much. It is a great delight to receive this eminent delegation from National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS. In a moment like this, it afforded me the opportunity to have an insight and a deep knowledge into well-conceived, well-researched, and good knowledge of what policy and strategic study means. The fact that the government has tasked you on the theme industrialization, energy security, and climate change in Nigeria, issues, challenges, and prospects. You have fished out the issues. You have knocked on the challenges, and you have recommended, very constructive prospect and shown the roadmap to achieve a sustainable goal and development for our country. Definitely, our hope is renewed. Who says that we don't have it as a country? Knowledge has been deeply demonstrated here. Commitment to research and development, the high-level inquisitiveness, the manpower needed is here. Today is a very landmark day, serious in our heart. And you've charted the roadmap to Nigeria's recovery. It's left for us to pull together in our teams. If tinkering is necessary, I assure you we will. As I sat here thinking along with the presentation, I could see the problem. Imagine what we have missed in the past and what could come and what we need to do.
The president assured the gathering that he would take immediate action on the recommendations made and give credit for a job well done.
This report will be treated with all seriousness it deserves. Regarding the challenges facing the National Institute, we will discuss that. Doing my best within the limited resources available to us. You should go and be assured that you've demonstrated knowledge and kindness to your nation. We look into the areas of problems and respond accordingly. I'm honored and I'm very happy that you see how to demonstrate the teamship and come to realize that what I have been saying repeatedly to my team members, that no one succeeds alone. If Nigeria succeeds, we are very successful. And there's no reason why Nigeria will not succeed if we utilize the level of knowledge demonstrated here today. It's our goal. this our nation? We are determined to build it. If navigation is necessary, we have naval officers among you. If to find a compass, we have pilots among you. If to fight our way through, we have the power of the military generals and others that are available. If it is research and development, we have all knowledge nearby. We will utilize everything to serve Nigeria. I just need to say thank you very much. Presenters, specifically I say thank you. It's very interesting how you pass the baton. It's quite rich and a very, very thorough job. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. God bless all of us.
With a sense of fulfillment, the participants took their leave back to the National Institute at Kuru, Jos, to attend their graduation ceremony.
Very happy. We are very happy indeed. Applaud the long awaited presidential visit today. The man has received us and gladly happy over what he has done. Congratulations to all of us. Congratulations to the management of NIPSS and then the entire participants. MNI Dakar. Stop lying.
After all we've been through,
it's like the end of a journey, so that you can start another one. It's been a long journey, 10 months, and here we are. We're elated, excited, and grateful to the Almighty for His mercies.
I'm extremely happy. It's been a long time for me now. I believe that go into the future, propagate what we have.
Participants who fulfill all requirements of the course are awarded a certificate entitling them to membership of the National Institute, MNI. Those who do not meet up the requirements get a certificate of attendance.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching NIPSS Policy TV.
In the course of life, sometimes you are misunderstood. Sometimes you are underappreciated. You will meet it. You will naturally feel low as a human being. But in the tides and fortunes of men, God has, his final say. So enjoy the highs, learn from the lows, forge ahead, and keep your ultimate dreams in life in focus.
The beauty of life is to live well and be celebrated. It was an atmosphere of celebration as participants of the Senior Executive Course 45-2023 had a Thanksgiving service at the Chapel of Salvation at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, Kuru. It was a day of gratitude as they came to thank God for keeping them safe all through the 10 months of the program. The service had in attendance the Director General of the National Institute, Professor Ayo Omotayo, the Director of Studies, Professor Olufumilayo Paramalam, MNI, directing staff, members of management, participants of SEC 45, well-wishers, family, and friends. During the service, some of the participants gave testimonies on the opportunities of coming to the National Institute, which they saw as a hand of God and a miracle.
If I never had a problem, I will know how God will solve them. You are mighty, God, you are El Shaddai, you are the King of Kings.
Situations. That's why I am not moved by what I see, by what I hear, by circumstances around me. Because as soon as I see something rising, I go back to God and say, Father, what are you saying concerning this situation?
As the service came to a close, prayers were offered for the participants for journey mercies back to their respective destinations.
The Lord will establish you on every side and grant you yet again divine placement
to continue to serve God's interests and His kingdom in the name of Jesus.
It was indeed a time of sober reflection and gratitude to God for the National Institute and participants of SEC 45 as they wrap up their program with thanksgiving to God Almighty.
We want to thank God for the service of today because the Bible says no one can receive anything from God except it is given from the above. We've all been here for the past 10 months and God has been so faithful to us, keeping us alive. We have never recorded any case of hospitalization, accidents, and we have never seen anybody being sent out of the course. So we all came here and we are all graduating. We have assumed and we believe that it is of the Lord that has given us this opportunity. And that's why we have come here to thank the Almighty God and to say, praise be unto His holy name.
Chana Ejoga, reporting for NIPSS Policy TV.
It's new, it's fresh, it's all about policies and strategies. Watch out for NIPSS Policy TV programs on NTA News 24. Tune in on Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, Star Times Channels 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703. Miss this and miss out on policies that will affect you and our country. Join us. Congratulations to SEC 45 participants on a successful presentation to the President. The National Institute serves as a high-level center for reflection, research, and dialogue where academics of excellence, seasoned policy initiators and executors, and other citizens of mature experience and wisdom drawn from all walks of life meet to reflect and exchange ideas on great issues of society, particularly as they relate to Nigeria and Africa within the context of a constantly changing world. That's it on the program today, as we all strive towards making our society better. I am Lydia Ochi. God bless Nigeria.